Well, one of the circle track guys at work, who has a pretty impressive circle track car, is one of the top guys in the area. Has one of these digital racing products. Basically, it's like a peak RPM data logger. Is essentially what it is. It shows you what your peak RPM is. What they use it for is, you're doing your laps and you really don't know for certain what your peak RPM has been because you don't really watch the tach that closely. So this will log whatever your highest RPM is, and then they can use that as a tool to adjust gearing for each track, and then also to track conditions. So anyways, this particular unit had a problem, so he gave it to me to repair, and I repaired it last night. I didn't do a video on it because I needed to get it done really quick. He wanted to get it back so he could go racing tonight. This is Friday night, and then they race Saturday and Sunday also. So it kind of gave me a little bit of an idea. I repaired this for him. What happened was the digits on the LCD, it has one of those multi-line LCD modules in it, and the digits on the LCD would, after it was powered up, would slowly fade off over a span of 5 minutes. In fact, I use the stopwatch function on my phone to time it, and literally in 5 minutes and 46 seconds every time it would fade out to basically no lettering on the screen at all, but the backlight was still there, just as strong as always. So I did a little bit of troubleshooting, found what the problem was, and I guess there's a couple other guys at the track that have these as well that has the exact same problem. So he's going to contact them and see if they want to maybe give them to me, have me repair them. This gave me a little bit of an idea. I've had possibly a bit of a change in work status going to come along here. Part of our operations, it looks like, is going to be moving down south. So what that means is it's probably not going to affect me as far as losing my job, but it will affect me with not having nearly as many hours, which is going to be good for me health-wise and mental health-wise, but not so good on the money end. So this gave me an idea. It's about time I start maybe making a little bit of money on some of these things that I do, some of these repairs that I make. So I guess what this video is, if you have one of these units and it has that particular problem, and I know for a fact that locally there's 3 of them that have that identical problem now, one of them that I fixed and 2 more out there, I can fix this unit for you, I believe. If it's that problem. If it's other problems, maybe not. That's a problem that I've proven I can solve. These have a PIC microcontroller in it, so it looks like a microcontroller anyways. The guy that built these originally scratched all the numberings off all the integrated circuits. But if there's anything going on in the software, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do with it. I don't have the stuff downloaded, and I don't have the knowledge to do that. But if you have the problem that I just described, where you start the car up and you've got the digits that come up reasonably bright, and then slowly over a span of 5 or 6 minutes those digits fade away to where they're no longer available, I can probably repair this unit. So if you have one of these that needs repaired, then contact me, and I'll probably, plus shipping, I can probably do this for $40. And these things are, I think, getting to be around $400 new. There's this DRP, I think, is the original one, and I don't know if the guy sold the rights to this. There's a couple other brand names that I see these under now that look to be identical. So if you happen to have one of these units, I can probably repair it for you then. So contact me. I'm trying to think of other ways I can maybe make a little extra money, such as this. One thing I don't want to get into, I'll say right off the bat now, I don't want to get into rebuilding carburetors. I had huge amount of requests when I released my Holley carburetor videos back a couple or 3 years ago. And as much as I would like to do that, I can't control how somebody's putting that carburetor back on, or whether even their problem is a carburetor problem. Too many times you have timing chains that are junk, flat lobes on your cam, huge vacuum leak somewhere, and you're blaming it on the carburetor. I rebuild the carburetor for you, send it off 1,000 miles, and the car runs no different than it did. I don't need 1,000 people on the internet telling everybody that I cheated them on their carburetor rebuild, which is what I could see possibly happening. So I don't want to get into the carburetor rebuild thing, but this is probably a good safe thing. I can test this. I have a frequency generator that I can run it up to a typical RPM. The one that he had, he says he normally looks for 8,400 RPMs, so I set it 8,400 RPMs and left it powered up for an hour after I made the repair, and the digits never faded away. They were just as strong an hour later as they were at the beginning. Powered it up with 13.5 volts. I know he has a 16-volt system in his car, and I think that's pretty much standard now, but that shouldn't matter because there's a voltage regulator in there that'll drop that voltage down to 5 volts anyways. These will run on 7 to I think 25 volts. So anyways, if you happen to have one of these units, I can probably repair it. So this is going to be one thing that I'm going to try and make a little bit of money on. And I'm not going to turn this channel into some sort of a big sales channel. I always just unsubscribe once people start doing that. I'm not going to do that, but every once in a while I may have an idea like this and maybe I can make a little extra money. Hey, I'm going to do it. Why not? Everybody else does, right? So anyways, that's it for that.